welcome to the Lexington Ice Center here in Lexington, Kentucky for the Southern Collegiate Hockey Association Championship. My name is Steve York. I will be doing the color commentary, the voice of the Cool Cats, and with me is the director of the Cool Cats and doing the play-by-play is Mr. Mark Shupe. Mark, it looks like we're going to have a very interesting game here. We've got an upset team from last night, and George Mason as they put it to North Carolina State.
That's true, Steve. George Mason upset one of the top-seeded teams. North Carolina State was a finalist in last season's playoffs. Kentucky beat North Carolina State last year 3-1 in Roanoke, Virginia. We expected a same matchup again this weekend in the finals, but George Mason University prevailed last evening by upsetting North Carolina State.
That's an excellent game.
Well, it was a close, hard-fought game. George Mason deserved the victory for their efforts.
Were you as surprised as I was to see how much North Carolina went after the body and how George Mason totally turned it around and went after the puck?
George Mason was not intimidated by North Carolina State's physical play. They just stuck to their game plan and did what counted, and that's put more pucks in the net than their opponent. That's
true, and George Mason got by way of this championship game here by playing first on Friday night. They played South Florida and won handily 8-5. And on the second night, they played North Carolina State, which was last night, of course, Saturday night, and beat them 6-5. And that brought us up to this championship game against the University of Kentucky, who came by way of beating Duke University 5-1 after having a bye in the first game. Mark, as play-by-play man, let's take it away to you.
Well, it appears George Mason is controlling the action here off the faceoff. Chad Cooper for Kentucky, the leading scorer in the SCHA, took the faceoff for Kentucky against George Micah, number 3 for George Mason. And we see a lot of hitting going on as Kentucky's having difficulty getting the puck out of the zone. And we had a pass by Art Wixon fired over to the left-hand side. George Mason intercepted it, has control of it. He's going to make it out themselves. And they missed the pass. Jeff Cooper for Kentucky shovels it back into the offensive zone. And Chad Cooper, his brother, gains control of the puck, works his way toward the net, takes a shot, and we have a goal. Chad Cooper breaks open the scoring for Kentucky, assisted by his brother Jeff. What do you think, Steve?
I'll tell you what, Mark. Did you see the way Chad Cooper took control of that puck from back deep in his own in the zone and took the puck across the center, and the play evolved right down the alley, right in front of the net. So you got it crowded up there, and Chad just kept the puck to the outside along the boards to where it was out of reach of the defender, and just kept pushing and pushing. It looked like that he actually had 1 or 2 shots at it before the goalie finally relented.